Hi, my name's Grant Stevely, and welcome to the Rotary Whiskey Tasting this evening. I'm here tonight to talk a little bit about the Douglas Distillery, but more importantly about whiskey distillation and maturation, what goes on for all those fabulous whiskeys that you have in your glass this evening. So, to start out, whiskey, the water of life, spends a lot of time in a barrel, and that's the most important part of producing a whiskey. 70 to 80% of the whiskey actually comes from the barrel and what was previously in the barrel. Now, a lot of things have taken place in the new world of whiskey. We have better barley strains, we have better yeast strains, we have better fermentation techniques, we have better distillation techniques, which I'm going to talk a little bit more about, and that most important thing is that wood maturation. Now, in the new world of distilling, we distill with these New World stills, with these rectification columns. You don't see these on a lot of the Scottish style stills. They're typically double distilled. Irish whiskey is triple distilled. For us, we are double distilled for our single malt. However, we go through a bit of a different process. We have a pot, much like they do in Scotland. We have a reflux head, much like you would see in Scotland, generally a round-shaped onion ball on the still. The New World, though, has these rectification columns. These rectification columns are designed to create a cleaner, more polished spirit that goes into the barrel that lends itself well to a younger whiskey. Now, tonight you have whiskeys from Tomatin, Mortlach, fabulous 18-year-old, 23-year-old whiskey. Gone are the days where whiskey has to be old to be good. Now we can get amazing whiskey in a shorter period of time. Doesn't mean those whiskeys you're having tonight aren't good. They're fabulous. They're outstanding. I've had a couple of them. So I certainly encourage you to enjoy those and appreciate those whiskeys because they spent a long time in the barrel. Now for us, all these different techniques, including our rectification column, are lending themselves well to get you a great product in a shorter period of time. Now, we move to the Okanagan for the hot, dry environment, which creates a richer maturation in the barrel. But really what we're going to see is some amazing whiskeys coming from craft distillers. Now, this reflux column that we have here is designed in such a way that it's going to clean and polish your spirit. Now, the Scottish would say that's not traditional, and they certainly are true by saying that. However, we get a fabulous product. And I think it's really important to note that there's old world and new world distilling. Now, this rectification column, as our vapor passes through our pot, through our reflux head, across and down into the column, the vapor will condense to a liquid. Now, if the vapor's light enough, it'll make it up to the next plate. If it's too heavy, it'll drop back down and go back into the still because we're using heat to separate the alcohol and water from each other. Now, as it travels through the column here, we get some recirculation. It's almost like it's going through multiple distillations within the still itself. Now we get an amazing product coming out in, this is our copper parrot spout. Now we take our distillate here. We're starting off on a great foundation for making great whiskey in a shorter period of time. So old whiskey is expensive, not necessarily good. It likely is good though, but we're trying to make whiskey in a shorter period of time. So for us at the Douglas Distillery, I really consider our new make spirit a bit of an Irish style. It's lighter, it's more fruity, more caramel forward. Now, I love the old world Scottish style whiskeys that are more grain forward, the spiciness and robustness and the chewiness that you would get in a Mortlach, which is a fantastic whiskey. For me, I want to combine old world and new world together. We have whiskey barrels from Laphroaig. We have whiskey barrels from Glas. We're actually taking some of our whiskey that's double distilled, put into those old world whiskey barrels to complement the new and the old, to create a really rich, flavorful, complex whiskey in a shorter period of time. I wanted to thank you for taking the opportunity to support the Rotary Club in their whiskey tasting this evening. And thank you for hearing me. And I would love to welcome you all to come out to the distillery and sample some of our whiskey. We have New World, and we're combining some of that Old World in our whiskey. Sláinte.